In this video, we are going to learn about navigation in the Flutter apps and everything you need to know to add routing and navigation in your apps and move back from one screen to another. Navigation is really important when we have more than two screens. Like as you can see in this diagram, we have a home screen and a profile screen. When I click on profile tab, I go to the profile screen, and when I click on home, I came back to the home screen. We are going to see the different methods of the navigator and how to achieve this. So make sure you see the full video too. So here I'm in my main.dart file, which is basically a file from the counter app that we got. Nothing special here, it's just a counter app. And I have added the home screen. The home screen is just a counter app with this new additional button here, which we are going to add the navigation logic. And here there's just simply a profile screen with the button and this showing here as it is. So let's see how we can move from the profile screen from the home screen. For that, all we have to do is push in the profile screen in the current navigation stack. A stack is basically just the pages put on the top of one another. So here Flutter manages which page it has to show with the help of navigation stack. In my navigation stack currently I have the home page, and that is the top element of the stack. That's why we are seeing home page here. If I want to see the profile tab, I have to do something to push the profile tab on this stack. And how we can do this, we'll just do this with the help of navigator. I have to push new page on it. It will take the first parameter as context and then the material page route. Material page route helps us to give the nice animation when transitioning between the two pages, and it makes your life much more easier. Material page route takes in the builder, and again I have to pass in the context, and I just have to return the screen on which I'm going to navigate to, and in this case that's the profile screen. I'm going to reload my app and now navigate to the profile screen. So here now I'm in the profile screen, and my navigation stack will look something like this. I have the profile at the top, that's why that I can see the profile screen right here. Now what if I want to go back to my home screen? What we can simply do is just pop off the profile from the stack. We can do something like this here and we'll come back to our home screen. What can I do to pop off the profile from the stack? For that I'm going to be in my profile screen and just use the pop method in the navigator and pop off the profile and just go back to my home page. I'm going to reload my app and we'll see that in action here. Go back, and yes, here I am in my home screen. There's much more easy way to push the page on the top of the navigation stack. We can do that simply by using something called named route. For that we just have to define here the route name which we are going to navigate to. In this case that is the profile. Alright, and I have to register this in the routes table in the main.dart file just like this. Profile screen.route name, pass in the context, and it will return the profile screen. This is just basically simply this profile, but for best practices and we do not do any error here, it's always good to add it like this here in the screen which we are going to navigate to and register it in the route table like this. Now I will see much more reduced code with the help of the push name method here. I do not have to pass this material page route like this. All I have to do is just go to that screen. For that, what I would do is I will take the profile screen and navigate to that route name. I will reload my app, navigate to profile screen, and everything works as before. So this is one way to navigate between different pages. Now what if I want to pass data around as well? I want to see which user I'm navigating to. I want to show the name of the user, profile screen of which user. So I want to pass the name of the user from this screen to that screen. How can I do that? That's also pretty much easy with the material page route. Let's see how we can do that first. For that I'm going to comment my routes table for a moment, and here in my profile screen I will accept an argument as a name in its constructor, profile screen this.name, and I will show this name right over here just like this. And when I'm navigating from material page route to the profile screen, I just need to pass the name of the user. This cannot be push named here, and this should be push. Let me reload my app and navigate to the profile screen, and there we have it. We see our John. So this is one basic way to pass data around from one screen to another. Now you must be wondering, how can we pass data with the help of named route? Well, that's pretty easy as well. What I have to do is in my profile screen tab, I have to create the model first of the data which I'm expecting. In this case, I'm expecting the user, and I'm just simply expecting the name of the user. And I will create this constructor for the user, this.name. And in the main.dot file, I'm going to uncomment my profile screen again here. I cannot use the string, expect the string like this when I'm going to use a name route with the arguments. And the error goes away, as you can see in the profile screen. Now I have to expect the name, and how can I retrieve the argument that I am coming. For that, let's first see how can I pass the arguments. Here I'm going to change it from material page route to profile screen.route name again, and now I have to pass in the name. For that, we can use something, pass them as an arguments, and argument we have of the type user here. So I will do user, and I will pass in John here. For the recap, in the name route I have this, I registered it basically like before, nothing special going on here. In the home screen, I have this new parameter that I'm passing here, and that is arguments, and arguments is of the type user, and I'm passing John here because that is what the user model here is. Now I have to extract those arguments in my build method. For that, what I can do is I will just define my user type here, and I will use something called model route dot of context. We will have access to the settings and then our arguments here. This will give us our user model here which we are passing here. And now I can just easily retrieve the name of the user here by user.name. Now I'm going to restart my app, and I will see everything working as before. Navigate to profile screen, it's working. Yeah, everything is working as it is. Now you must be wondering if there is an easy way to do that, and yes, there is an easy way. This way is also pretty easy for smaller apps, but as our apps grow more and more complex, we do not want this kind of behavior, and we want to separate our logic from our UI. That's a best practice that you should follow always. For that, what we can do is, by not extracting it like that, I'm going to remove this right here, and we are going to use something called as onGenerateRoute in the main.dot file. Now I want to talk about something called as initial route. Initial route is nothing but what is going to be pushed onto your navigation stack at the top, at the start of the application basically. So here I have specified home screen as my starting page by passing it into the home parameter of this material app. But this is not a good way to do that, and will handle all of our routing logic at one place. I can also do it by this way, by passing something called initial route here. Initial route, and put the home screen / here, something like that. But as I just said, we are now going to push all of our routing logic at one place. For that, we are going to use something called as onGenerateRoute, and it looks like this. We define onGenerateRoute like this. We pass in the function that is going to be responsible for handling all that logic. Remember, we are not invoking the function, we are just passing the reference of this function. And I'm going to remove all this logic from here. Now let's get into this function and see what we have to do for that. So the initial route which I was talking about is defined like this, like simply if there is nothing after the slash, then Flutter will assume that it's an initial route and is going to return it. So again, I'm going to use a material page route here using the builder context, and our initial route is the home screen. It requires title, we pass the title. And the next we have is our profile screen route. This is just basically what we were doing in the routes table earlier in the main.dot file. The settings here is mainly responsible for the arguments that I'm going to see and the name of the route which I'm trying to navigate. I want to move to the profile screen now. I will just extract my arguments like this, which we were doing in the profile screen by extracting this like this here, but that's not the case anymore. I will extract my argument, I will return the material page route, use the build context, pass in the name of the user, and for that I just have to accept the name of the user here, final string user, profile screen, this dot user, and we can just print our user here easily as before. It's also good to define a default fallback route if we could not navigate to any of the routes defined here. And for that, I'm just going to return the error route, copy this here, and use my error screen here. Error screen. Now this looks much more clean than earlier, and this would definitely make your app much more robust and as it grows, all of the routing logic comes into place and easier to debug as well. In the home screen, the arguments are passed just like that. There is nothing changed here. What changed here is the way to extract those arguments in the profile screen. I'm not going to extract it here, rather I'm going to handle everything in the route generator, pass in the material page route, and everything works as expected. I'm going to restart my application and let's see whether everything is working or not. So my initial route was pushed as expected, nothing complex here. Application is working. I can increase my counter, turn to 6, navigate to profile screen. I see John here very well. Go back, it's working. Now let's see what if I want to navigate to any string which is not defined. So I will just rename it to anything. Let's see what we get here. Here we have our error string, guys. So that's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we are going to publish the next video about the post name, post replacement name, and the other routes that we have as well.